Have you ever been told you just think too much? Like it's some kind of glitch, a flaw in your system that only ever leads to anxiety? Well, what if that's just completely wrong? Today, we're going to flip that whole idea on its head. We're going to look at the overthinker's mind not as a bug, but as this incredibly powerful, high-performance engine that's just been, totally misunderstood.
Okay, so let's start with a really cool metaphor. Think about your brain not as a thinker, but as a finely tuned instrument. An overthinker's brain? Well, it's naturally set to a super high tension. And this visual here, it just nails it. You tighten that string way too much and snap, it breaks. That's burnout. But if you find that perfect tension, that absolute sweet spot, you don't get a break, you get a masterpiece. See, the problem isn't the instrument, it's all in the tuning.
So, why is this instrument so high-strung in the first place? Well, it's because we're dealing with a professional-grade processor here. Let's really get under the hood and understand the cognitive architecture that makes it so different.
This slide lays it out perfectly. On the left, you've got your standard linear thinker. It's a straight shot, A to B, super efficient, super fast. But look at the right. This is the overthinker's approach. It's what's called branching simulations. It's not a line, it's this whole branching tree. The mind doesn't just go from A to B. It explores A to B1, B2, B3, all the way down the line. It's not about being slower, it's about being way, way deeper. The whole game shifts from speed to absolute total coverage. And you know what? This whole branching process, it's not just worrying. It's a serious strategic talent. It actually has a name, advanced risk mitigation. I mean, think about what that really means. The overthinker has already played out a dozen ways a project can go wrong before anyone's even started. And because of that, they can build in these amazing safeguards that a linear thinker probably wouldn't even spot until it was way too late.
So this pro-grade processor, it's not just about mitigating risk. No way. It comes with a whole suite of other abilities. So let's open up this hidden superpower menu and take a look at the elite skills that so many of us just mistake for regular old stress.
And here they are, the 4 core talents. You've got hyper-pattern recognition, scenario architecture, intellectual rigor, and extreme empathy. Every single one of these is an incredible asset professionally. But here's the catch. They can also feel incredibly heavy to carry around.
Let's just zoom in on that first one for a second. Hyper-pattern recognition. This question right here gets to the absolute heart of it. Is it anxiety or is it just high-resolution hearing? Think about a sound engineer, right? You and I, we might listen to a song and think, yeah, sounds good. But they hear a muddy mix and they know just instinctively that there's a problem frequency somewhere. That's not anxiety, that's expertise. Well, the overthinker applies that same kind of high-res hearing to everything, from social cues to data sets to legal contracts, and they spot the tiny issues that everyone else just sails right past.
And this brings us right to the central conflict, what we can call the overthinker's paradox. I mean, if this cognitive engine is so powerful, if it comes with all these elite skills, why does it so often feel like a total curse? Why is it tied to burnout and anxiety instead of, success and creativity?
Well, the answer really starts with some simple biology. Your brain is an energy hog. It's incredibly power hungry. Get this. Even when you're just sitting there doing nothing, it's guzzling down 20% of your body's total energy. That makes it by far the most expensive organ you operate.
Right. So now take that massive baseline energy cost and pile on the intense processing load of running all those branching simulations all day long. The overthinker's engine is constantly pushing its performance right to its thermal red line. And that's it. That's the reason you can feel completely, physically wiped out at the end of the day, even if you never left your chair. Your brain just ran a marathon.
This kind of high performance comes with a pretty high cost, a sort of cognitive tax, if you will. We've already talked about the thermal red line, but then there's the validation void. This is where you ignore your talent because, well, it feels easy and natural to you, so you assume it's not valuable to others. And of course, there's the imposter cycle. You've already simulated so many perfect versions of something in your head that when you finally create the real-world one, it feels like a failure in comparison, even if it's objectively brilliant.
So, what do we do about this? How do we manage it? Well, the goal is not to shut the engine down. Let's be real, that's impossible. The goal is to give that powerful engine a direction. It's time to learn how to take that internal loop that just spins and spins and finally turn it into an external masterpiece.
This quote on the screen is everything. When thoughts are kept in the head, they loop. When they are put onto paper, they become a masterpiece.
Just think about that for a second. An idea trapped inside your skull just spins and spins, burning up all that energy. But the second you externalize it, you write it down, you sketch it out, you start coding it, it stops being a loop. It becomes raw material that you can actually build something with.
And here's how you do it, laid out in 3 simple steps. First, just acknowledge the loop is happening. Don't fight it, don't judge it, just notice that the engine is spinning. Step 2 is the absolute game changer. Externalize the data. Get it out of your head. Write it, record it, draw it, whatever it takes, just get it out. Then and only then can you move to step 3, create the work. Now you can actually see the patterns, connect the dots, and shape all that raw cognitive energy into a finished piece. So we'll end on this thought. Your overthinking isn't a glitch. It's a professional-grade processor that's just been running without a project. It's a high-tension instrument waiting for a piece of music to play. Remember, the only difference between a worry and a work of art is that the work of art was written down. So the real question is, what masterpiece is your engine just waiting to build?